Guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, I got a story out of Detroit, Michigan. I seen early yesterday morning, but I didn't have time to get to it with this Robert Brooks thing popping off later in the afternoon, so I chose to cover that first. But this story right here, man, is horrific, and it deals with people that can't resolve conflict and people that feel as though you shouldn't tell them what to do with something that they deem as their property. This gentleman you see on the screen, may he rest in peace, is 60-year-old Robert Kavanaugh of Detroit, Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, this man was beaten with a metal pipe where he died, from his injuries after trying to rescue a dog that was being abused by its owner, which was Mr. Kavanaugh's neighbor. Not only did the man get upset about Mr. Kavanaugh saying something to him about how he was disciplining his dog, the man decided to kill this man by beating him with a pipe, smashing his head in, and leaving him in the middle of the street for anybody to come across, which in itself is horrific. Here's his story.
A family is in mourning tonight after their loved one is beaten to death in Madison Heights. Family members say Robert Kavanaugh was just trying to rescue a dog when he was attacked. Thanks for joining us at 11. I'm Ty Steele.
I'm Wolf Jones in for Kimberly Gill. The 60-year-old's alleged attacker is in police custody. Sean Lay spoke with Kavanaugh's family. He joins us now with their message.
There are heroes among us we never hear about. One hero was named Robert Kavanaugh. He was known in his Madison Heights mobile home community for rescuing and caring for the animals there. His family never dreamt that Robert would be beaten to death for trying to help a dog who was being abused by his owner. Robert was just trying to do the right thing.
People just don't understand how sweet he was and generous and an animal lover.
You can tell Jane Thompson is still in shock. Her baby brother, 60-year-old Robert Kavanaugh, was found dead in the middle of the street in his manufactured home community in Madison Heights Christmas Eve. When his stunned family went to identify Robert's remains at the medical examiner's office, his injuries were so severe the family was not allowed to see him. Robert Kavanaugh had been bludgeoned to death with a pipe, all because he stepped in between a helpless dog who was being abused by its owner. What's more, police took Kavanaugh's neighbor into custody. This family is learning that the man spent 20 years in prison for one major crime and another 10 years for another major crime. This family believes that man's violent behavior was well known. He should never have been released to be free to harm or murder a loved one like Robert Kavanaugh.
I can only see good in people. And I suppose Bobby was the same.
Robert's family, they're asking for prayers, but they're demanding justice in this case. They've also been hit with funeral costs out of nowhere. They have a GoFundMe. They gave it to us. We put it on our website for you to look at clickondetroit.com. Sean Lay, Local 4.
That's the story of Robert Kavanaugh, age 60, killed on Christmas damn Eve in the most vicious way imaginable. Left in the street with his head so smashed in that the family can't see what he looks like in the coroner's office, at the medical examiner's office. All you hear is, oh yeah, he's dead. Yeah, it's him, but we can't show him to you. Heartbreaking. What kind of Christmas you think they had? You think this guy cared? Let me tell you something. There's some people out here that are just naturally bad people. You see it in the way they treat others and the way they treat animals. I like animals. I'm not like a save the whales type person, but I mean, come on. People beat animals a lot of times like they're human beings because they themselves was beat a long time ago in life. Said this guy had a violent criminal past, served 20 years. That wasn't enough. So that's the thing. Sometimes you can get institutionalized no end where it don't matter if you in jail or not. You see it in a lot of stories I do. This guy killed this guy, and supposedly he said when Mr. Kavanaugh said something to him about him beating his dog or whatever, he tells him, ain't nobody going to tell me how to raise my dog. They must have gotten into an exchange about it. And he went over there and beat him to death with the pipe. So the neighbor seen the exchange. People are saying the man's a hero for trying to save the dog. Don't know where the dog is, but I mean, I'm more than sure this fucktard that did that shit probably took it out on the dog. Like, look what you made me do after doing what he did to Mr. Kavanaugh. I don't understand how people get so angry, especially men, where they get consumed by their emotions and let the emotions take hold. Crazy stuff will always happen. It will never end well if a man cannot master his emotions or at least control them somewhat. Another thing that's cracking me up is how come they never show these perpetrators that do these heinous crimes like this? It's past Christmas Eve. How come there ain't no picture of this piece of shit? Of course, he needs to be outed. People need to know, hey, look, you know what I'm saying? Think about it. Holidays right next door. And you couldn't even hold your composure to make it Christmas and have freedom, and he couldn't stay alive. All you had to do was take your dog and walk up in the house. You know what I'm saying? The man's 60 years old. How much of a threat do you think he posed to you? But then again, I don't know how old this guy is neither. But either way, man, it's distasteful. I mean, I've seen people have dogs and treat them like trash and stuff like that. And it's just a reflection of them having displeasure in themselves, so they pour it out on the dogs. We see it in child abuse cases all the time. You know, I don't understand, man. I don't, and it's sad. Sister sitting up there looking like, why? And like, you know, they interview these people to get a perspective of the story, you know, a broader perspective of the story, what type of person the victim was. But a lot of times the hurt and the drain that you see on a person is very hard to watch, just as bad as the crime. Because even though she wasn't hit with the pipe, she feels the pain of the loss of her brother in a horrific way. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe, man. I ain't even going to talk about the justice system, but I will say this. When these people are out here doing heinous crimes and violent crimes and stuff like that, a lot of times they shouldn't get out of damn jail when they doing stuff to where like a normal person would show reserve or some type of, you know, self-discipline. Most of the time, incarceration don't fix that. And I wish they would change these laws and have different penalties for people that do heinous stuff like this. He killed this man like it was nothing. Just like he beat his dog like it was nothing. Just something to think about. See you in the next video. Take care. One thing, let me mention something about Mr. Kavanaugh. In life, man, good people do good things. And you could tell what kind of heart this man had. And, you know, for him to go and say something and then get into some type of altercation with a guy over an animal that's not his, but he, you know, he's seen it as the animal has rights to live just like you and shouldn't be under no type of suffering, torment. And it cost him big. You know, a lot of people might say, oh, well, he should have minded his business, but nobody wants to hear, you know, an animal that's helpless against a human being tormented. That's all I got to say about it. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. May Robert Kavanaugh rest in peace.